Hey guys, it's Willie from Panda.com. Welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about what I'm thinking in terms of like longer term strategic planning. So in previous videos I talked about maybe some Bitcoin if let's just say like the worst case scenario where like the US dollar keeps losing value. I think Bitcoin could maybe take over. And then I've also watched some debates between gold and Bitcoin. What could be like potentially maybe like strategic rivals, where I think gold itself might also lose some, I guess like market share, if you want to call it, against Bitcoin. I think as like the generations, particularly like the millennial and Gen Z, like kind of investors and traders on like the younger side, they usually, I haven't seen too many like that talk about gold and silver, because I guess it's sort of like older folks like me and above, like we're kind of like the old farts, and like we kind of like things that are a little bit more tangible. But I think I'm sort of like maybe in the middle, where I kind of like having a little bit of tangible things, but I also appreciate like the new things, like where like Bitcoin and other, maybe other cryptocurrencies could be a potential way to be like a digital store of some type of value. So I've seen videos where Bitcoin is compared to like digital gold, and maybe Ethereum is compared to maybe like a digital oil, and so on and so forth. And then there's like these other ones, like the forks of Bitcoin, and then maybe the maybe up and coming, like I guess like the digital fiat, kind of like tethers and all these other ones. And then there's also some other interesting ones where like the oracles, where they kind of connect different blockchains. But I guess like while the space evolves and people kind of like they settle into like the different camps, that gives us time to maybe look at sort of like the old school ways of storing some value. I was thinking maybe commodities could be maybe it still has a little bit of life left to it, and while people have left like things like oil and gold and silver, wheat, corn, orange juice, those kind of things, I think there's still a little bit of room to them, especially if humans still need to eat. So like things like wheat, corn, orange juice, cocoa, I think those will still be useful, but it's still subject to cycles. So maybe if people like plant too much of a certain crop, then maybe like the price will eventually go down, because like to kind of like offset to bring like the demand and supply into equilibrium. But I guess like I want to be more practical about it, because I used to trade a little bit of the different futures, and like they have like different tick values. So some could like each tick could trade like $12.50. Another one could trade like 10 cents, and so on and so forth. So it's a little confusing for some folks. So I think maybe I'll if there's a demand for it, maybe talk about how to trade futures directly, or trade like options around it. It tends to be a little bit more expensive, and they generally, like the contract size, I think it's too big for most people. So I'll only make it if there's like enough maybe a demand for it. So maybe I was thinking maybe like today I'll give you kind of like a brief overview of why I think commodities could be useful, because I've noticed like across the board generally, except for maybe occasional spikes in like things like natural gas, and then oil is kind of has to follow kind of like the economic demand for it. I think as the economy across the world slowly starts to recover, I think we'll also see like a corresponding increase in oil. And then there's also like maybe like geopolitical shocks where like some country will do something crazy, and then like other countries will kind of scramble and see like, oh well, maybe we underpriced oil for a while. And I know that electric vehicles are very like hot right now, but it's still going to take some time for if you believe that oil will eventually be phased out slowly. But for now we still have to use oil, natural gas, I think, which is still a little bit cleaner than oil. But well, I think there's still going to be use cases for certain commodities, like for example, copper. As the economy improves, we're going to need more copper, like even for like just general things, like for example in houses. I think like housing, depending on which market you're in, like it's still like the prices are slowly creeping up, and people want to maybe renovate the houses, and like you need copper in housing and for all the industrial uses. So I think something like Freeport McMoRan, FCX, like the price has gotten beat up. It's still like around the 20ish as of the time of this video, so that I have something already in there. I'm also trying to look for other like commodity plays, such as like GLD for gold and SLV for silver. So that's something you could maybe take a look at. And then there's also like the miners. There's GDX and then GXJ. I believe for silver it's SIL for the miners, and then SLIX. Forgive me if I get the ticker symbols a little bit off. I'll try to link them in the description below. So yeah, I'm thinking like longer term, like maybe commodities, like they've been kind of like the prices have already been suppressed like for a while, and I feel like they should be kind of breaking out, especially if the dollar and other currencies around the world, they keep going down. I think like eventually people in like big institutions are like, well, we gotta put the money somewhere. You can only put so much in like Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. That's like one place to put it. And then like even just for like our normal everyday life, we still need commodities, like, and like they seem like artificially suppressed. I don't want to get into like any like crazy like theories or anything, but they've been beat up for such a long time that I think like maybe it's worth like maybe like a small speculation. But I'm just talking about my own portfolio, so I'm just bringing it out to you guys to maybe like think about it as well. So guys, let me know if you want other videos on like maybe futures or different types of commodities. I'll be happy to make it if there's enough demand for it. And then please consider liking and subscribing. If you haven't already done so, I would greatly appreciate it. I think it'll be helpful for other investors and like aspiring traders that like because I think like the content that I talk about, like it's kind of scattered in like different places, and like I want to kind of bring it all into this channel so that like people have more options as to where they want to put their money or how to allocate it. So thank you for watching. I appreciate your support, and have a great one.